Good morning students. In today's session we are going to handle module 2 in electromagnetic field theory. Under that the first subdivision what we are going to see is energy and potential. In this we are going to cover energy expended in moving a point charge in an electric field, and next topic what we are going to handle is line integral. First, energy expended in moving a point charge in an electric field. For this, first we should understand when you have two charges, what will be the nature of force exerted in between them. What is meant by an electric field intensity? So consider 2 points A, B. Here you have a point charge Q and small q. When we will experience a force of attraction or force of repulsion in between these two charges depending upon the polarity of the charge. If it is going to be the like charge, then we'll get force of repulsion. Like charges repel each other, and if you have an unlike charge, if the polarity of the two charges is going to be plus or minus, then we are going to experience as a force of attraction. Then this force of attraction or the force of repulsion can be experienced only when you have two charges or two or more than two charges. When you have only one charge, it is not possible for us to experience the force of attraction or force of repulsion. Therefore, a test charge is required to experience a force of attraction or force of repulsion. When two charges are available, there exists a force. That force is directly proportional to the charge on each object and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. This particular formula is according to Coulomb's law. Now, after experiencing the force between the two charges according to Coulomb's law, when you are considering one charge to be your test charge, the force acting on when we consider one charge to be the test charge, for example, if we consider Q to be the test charge, when two charges are available, there will be a force of attraction or force of repulsion. This force acting on this unit positive test charge is going to exhibit an electric field intensity E, which we can write it as E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon R square. So this is going to be the formula for your electric field intensity. Now, if you wanted to move the test charge against this electric field intensity, if I wanted to move the test charge, some amount of work or some amount of energy need to be done. Energy is nothing but the capacity to do work. Here, the electric field intensity was defined as the force on a unit test charge at that point where we wish to find the value of your electric field intensity. It is nothing but force acting on unit positive test charge is going to be your electric field intensity. To move the test charge against the electric field, we have to exert force equal and opposite in magnitude that are exerted by the field. When you have two charges, you consider the direction of the wind to be in this direction. If a man wants to move in the direction of the wind, then the work done by him will be equal to 0. Suppose if a man wants to move opposite to the direction of the wind, then he has to do some work. That is, he has to apply some equal and opposite force towards the force which is already exhibiting. That is the point it is explained over here. Next, to move the charge in the direction of the electric field, our energy expenditure turns out to be negative, because when you wanted to move along the direction of your electric field, then the energy expenditure will be negative or it will be equal to 0. Energy to move the charge Q to a distance of dl in the presence of your electric field, the force on Q will be rising from its electric field as Fe is equal to Q into E. We know that force on unit positive test charge is going to be your electric field intensity E, where we can write Fe force exerted is going to be Q into E. If I wanted to apply an equal and opposite amount of force, then F is equal to minus QE. So here the component of this force is in the direction of your DL. So we can write it as FEL is equal to FE into AL, which is equal to Q into E into AL. AL is nothing but the unit vector in the direction of your distance vector DL. The force that we apply must be equal and opposite to the force exerted by the field. Hence, we can write F applied force is equal to minus Q into E dot AL. Minus sign represents we are going to apply a equal and opposite amount of force that has been exerted prior. Differential amount of work done by the external source to Q is given as dW equal to minus Q E dot AL is your unit vector and D is going to be your distance vector. You can write the unit vector AL vector as DL dot product with AL. So from your previous equation, we know that the differential amount of work done, or from the previous expression, your external applied force is equal to minus Q E AL vector. This AL is going to be the unit vector in the direction of your DL. Therefore, AL vector is replaced as DL dot AL. In the same way, the same thing it has been replaced in the differential amount of work done equation, where dW is equal to minus Q E AL dot DL, which is equal to minus Q E AL dot DL is nothing but your differential unit vector DL. If E and L are going to be perpendicular, then the differential amount of work done will be equal to 0. Therefore, we can write the equation dW is equal to 0 if E and L are going to be perpendicular. The work required to move the charge to a finite distance is determined by its integration. Suppose here I wanted to move the charge from one distance to other distance. For example, consider this is going to be my point A, where I am having a point charge Q. I wanted to move this point charge Q from A to B. If I wanted to move the point charge from A to B, then I can write my differential amount of work done. This differential amount of work done, from this, if we write W is equal to minus Q into integration into DL, where integration stands between your starting limit and end limit. Here the starting limit is going to be A and the end limit is going to be B. Therefore, the differential amount of work done can be written as differential amount of work done can be written as minus Q integration. If we wanted to move the charge from A to B, the limit is from A to B, E dot DL. Suppose if the point charge has to be moved from point B to A, then we can write the amount of work done is equal to minus Q integration between the limit B to A E dot DL. This is going to be the differential amount of work done. The work required to move the charge to a finite distance is determined by its integration. Initial value from where it is going to start and where it is going to reach. Integration dW. We'll get the answer W is equal to minus Q initial point to your final point E dot DL. E represents your electric field intensity, Q represents the charge, and DL is the differential elemental length. This differential elemental length can be written either in a Cartesian coordinate system or cylindrical coordinate system or spherical coordinate system, depending upon the analysis where we are going to start. The path must be specified beforehand. The charge is assumed to be at rest at its initial and final position. These are all the assumptions that we have made. After identifying the work done, if you are getting the work done greater than 0, then it means that we expend energy or to do work. Suppose if your W is less than 0, it means that the field expends energy to do work. Energy expended in moving a point charge. You consider a point charge at this place. When you are keeping the point charge, if it is a positive charge, the field is going to be outward. If it is a negative charge, the field is going to be the inward. When you have a charges around it, there will be a field. The field representation of the field is written as E vector. And the potential V, suppose if you wanted to move the test charge against this field, then we need to do some potential. At this particular point, as your field is as it goes on increasing, you need to apply more and more potential. If you are moving this point charge away from the field, then to move the point charge from one point to another in an electric field, the force which we must apply is equal and opposite to the force due to the field. To move the point charge from one point to the other point, that is to move it from your lower potential to higher potential in the presence of your electric field, then the constant force what we are applying from the lower potential till the higher potential should be equal and opposite to the force due to the field at higher potential. Next is going to be your line integral. You can see it is the starting point and this is the finishing point. From point B to point A, we are going to move the point charge. All of a sudden it is not possible to move at a stretch. So if the charge, it will be moved for a integral distance. Therefore, the complete line has been segregated into 6 line segments 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Initially the point will be moving it from point B to delta L1. Then from delta L1 to delta L2, delta L2 to delta L3. Likewise, it will start to move from point B and it will reach us the point A. It is going to be your destination. The integral expression of your previous equation is an example of your line integral taking the form of your integral as a prescribed path. From the previous equation means we know that W is equal to minus Q integration E dot dl. So this is going to be your line integral. Here line integral means here what is your starting point? It is going to start from point B and it has to move till point A. The point charge should be started from point B and it has to be moved till point A. So the initial point is written as B and the final point is written as D. Without using vector notation, we should have to write the equation as W is equal to minus Q integral initial value to final value EL dot dl. Here initial value is going to be B and the final value is going to be A EL dot dl. So we can write the work involved in moving a charge Q from B to A is approximately W is equal to minus Q. Your charge is going to move to a distance of del L1 in the presence of your electric field intensity EL1. And again from here to here it is going to move in the presence of your electric field intensity EL2 to a distance of del L2. From del L to del L3 it is going to move in the presence of your electric field intensity EL3. Therefore the total work done W will be minus Q EL1 into del L1 plus EL2 into del L2 and it goes on till your final distance. This is going to be the work done in moving a point charge from initial point to the final point in the presence of your electric field intensity by means of your line integral. Thank you, students.